So today we're going to start with standard form. Standard form is written as ax plus by equals c. So if we look down here at example 1, we see I have a 2x, which represents my ax, plus my 1y, which is my by, and then 3, which is my c. The directions are to write the equation in slope-intercept form and then identify the slope and y-intercept. So in order to put it in slope-intercept form, you got to solve for y. So how do I solve for y? We get rid of this guy. In order to get rid of the 2x, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Those will cancel out. I'm left with y equals negative 2x plus 3. It wants us to identify our slope and our y-intercept, so I know that my m is going to be negative 2 and my b is going to be 3. Same thing for number 2, we want to get this 5y by itself, so step 1 is to get rid of that 4x. In order to get rid of 4x, I'm going to subtract 4x from this side. I have to subtract 4x from the other side. Now, just a little heads up, again, we cannot combine these. I cannot combine negative 30 and negative 4x because one has an x and one doesn't. So I'm just going to write negative 4x, and I'm going to have that negative 30 just hanging out on the outside. So if we notice, I still have a 5 in front of my y. My y is not completely by itself. And I know that when it's a coefficient, it's multiplication. So in order to get rid of multiplication, I'm going to divide that by 5, and I'm going to divide all of this by 5. It's going to give me an equation of y equals negative 4 over 5x. Because this doesn't simplify, I keep it just the way it is. And I know that negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. So my equation is y equals negative 4 over 5x minus 6. It wants me to identify my m and my b, so I know that m is going to be negative 4 over 5, and my b is going to be negative 6. All right, so I'm going to move on to number 3. We want to do the same thing. We want to get this y by itself. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Now, to make my life a lot easier, I do know that there is a 1 in front of here, so I'm going to subtract 1x from each side. Those cancel out. I left with negative 3y equals, and I know I can't combine those, so I'm just going to put the negative 1x down, and then the plus 12. And we're going to divide everything by negative 3. So now I get y equals and I have negative 1 over negative 3. A negative divided by negative is a positive, so I know that slope's now positive. And then I have 1 over 3 that doesn't simplify, so I'm just going to write it exactly how I see it. And then 12 divided by negative 3 is minus 4. All right, so moving on to number 4, I'm going to subtract 1x again from each side. I get negative 1y is equal to negative 1x minus 8. And remember, I'm putting those 1s there just to make my life a lot easier, because now I see I have a negative 1 I need to get rid of, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. So I get y equals negative 1 divided by negative 1 is a positive 1x. Negative 8 divided by negative 1 is a positive 8. All right, looking at number 5, I'm going to subtract 4x from each side. These cancel out. I'm left with negative 1y is equal to negative 4x. Now, if you want to, you could put the plus 0, but since it's nothing, you don't have to. I'm not going to. Now I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. My final answer here is going to be y equals, I know a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 4 divided by 1 is 4. And then I'm left with x. All right, so number 6, we're going to subtract 3x from each side. Subtract 3x. Those cancel out. I have negative 2y is equal to negative 3x minus 14. Divide everything by that negative 2. Divide all of this by negative 2. I get y equals, I know a negative and a negative is going to give me a positive, and then I have 3 over 2 that does not simplify nicely, so I'm just going to write 3 over 2 x, and then I know negative 14 divided by negative 2 is positive 7. All right, let's look and see. We have 7 and 8 to do real quick. So in order to do 7, I'm going to get rid of this negative 6x, and in order to get rid of negative 6x, I'm going to add 6x to both sides, giving me 4y is equal to 6x plus 20. Then we're going to divide everything by 4. I get y equals, I know 6 over 4 can simplify to 3 over 2, and we always simplify our slope. And then 20 over 4 gives me plus 5. All right, so number 8, we're going to subtract 1x. Like I said, I always add that 1 in there because it makes life easier for us, especially when we're doing equations. So now I'm going to write that 5y comes down equals that negative 1x, and then I have minus 15. We have a 5 in front of the y, so let's divide everything by 5. So now I have y equals negative 1 over 5 does not simplify, so I'm going to write it exactly how I see it. And then I know negative 15 divided by 5 is going to be negative 3. All right, let's do a few examples on the back. All right, 9 and 10. How do I get rid of 3x here? We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Subtract 3x, subtract 3x. That gives me 3y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. I'm sorry, that's a negative 12, so I'm going to write minus 12. And I'm going to divide everything by 3 to get that y completely by itself. So I get y equals negative 3 divided by positive 3 is negative 1x. And then I have negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. 10, how do I get rid of negative 2x? We're going to add 2x to both sides. And I'm left with negative 4y is equal to 2x plus 36. Okay, so that negative 4 needs to go. So in order to get that to cancel out, we have to divide everything by negative 4. So I have y equals 2 over negative 4. I know that's going to be a negative because a positive divided by a negative. And then 2 over 4 is 1 over 2x. 36 divided by negative 4 is negative 9. All right, 11 and 12. Go ahead and get started by doing number 11. We're going to we're going to get rid of the 12x by subtracting 12x from both sides. And I'm left with negative 9y is equal to negative 12x minus 9. Divide everything by negative 9. Divide by negative 9. So y is going to equal, I know a negative and a negative give me positive. 12 divided by 9. It doesn't go in evenly, but it does simplify. I can divide everything by 3, and I get 4 over 3x. Negative 9 divided by negative 9 is plus 1. 12. In order to start 12, we're going to get rid of 4x. We're going to subtract 4x. Subtract 4x. I'm left with 10y is equal to negative 4x plus 10. Divide everything by 10. y is going to equal, I know a negative divided by positive is negative, and 4 over 10 doesn't simplify perfectly, but you can divide each of them by 2, giving me a 2 over 5x. 10 divided by 10 is plus 1. Alright, so this next one, it wants us to determine the equation that best represents the line shown. Alright, so for number 13, they want to know which one of these represent this. So I need to know what the equation for this line is. So I'm going to start with 2 points. And for number 13, I know I have y equals, and I need the slope, which is up 1 over 3x. And my my y-intercept is down 2, so I know that's negative 2. So I need to see which one of the equations equals this right here. So we're going to start with A. So I'm going to do A over here. I have x plus 3y is equal to negative 6. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Remember, I like to put a 1 there. Subtract 1x. So I get 3y is equal to negative 1x minus 6. And we're going to divide this by 3, this by 3. So I get y equals negative 1 over 3x minus 2. Now let's check those. We're going to check this one and this one. Notice they do not match because one has a negative 1 over 3. This is a positive 1 over 3. So I'm going to pick a different color. And we're going to try the next one. So I'm going to try B, and I'm going to try it right here. I have x minus 3y equals 6. I'm going to subtract 1x, subtract 1x. I get negative 3y is equal to negative 1x plus 6. Okay, now we're going to divide everything by negative 3. Divide all of this by negative 3, so I get y equals, and I know negative divided by a negative is a positive, and then now I have 1 over 3 x, and then 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. Now comparing those, they look exactly the same, so I know that B is my correct answer. Alright, so on to number 14. What equation do I want? Well, I'm going to put a point right here. I'm going to put a point right here. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. So I know 4 over 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So I guess I could have went up 2 and over 1. So my slope, so I have y equals a slope of 2x. And then my y-intercept is negative 1. So this is what I'm looking for right here. So we're going to start with these. And I know that my x needs to be a 2. So this doesn't have any coefficients. So if I brought this over, I know that it could be negative and it's going to have to be divided. So I'm actually going to look at C and D first. This is just an educated guess that I'm going to take because I need a 2x. It might work, it might not. So we're going to try. I'm going to start with that top, the C, and we're going to do 2x plus y equals negative 1. So how do I get rid of the 2x? I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I get y equals negative 2x minus 1. Almost. So the only thing that's different is mine is a positive and this one's a negative. So I don't want that. So I'm going to try a different color real quick, and I'm going to try D. So with D, I have 2x minus 1y is equal to 1. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides. I got negative 1y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. Divide everything by negative 1. So y is equal to negative divided by negative is a positive 2x. And then I know a positive divided by a negative is a negative 1. So this does indeed match mine over here. So I know my answer is D. All right, on to 15. 15 is going to be our last one of the day. We're going to try this color. Alright, so I need to find my slope. So I actually see two lines right here. So I have a slope of 1. Alright, so 15 is our last one of the day. Okay, I'm going to put a point here and a point right here. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 4. So my equation is going to be y equals negative 5 over 4x. And I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go plus 7. Okay. All right, so if you can do some of these in your head, you can start it off. I know if I subtract 4 over there, then I'm going to have 4 on the numerator of my fraction, and 4 is not on the numerator here. So I am going to start with C and D again. And again, that's just an educated guess. I could be wrong. But for C, I have 5x plus 4y equals positive 28. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. I'm going to do 4y is equal to negative 5x plus 28. Divide by 4. Divide this by 4. So now I have y equals negative 5 over 4x, and then positive 28 divided by 4 gave me a positive 7. So my educated guess was good, and it is C. C is my answer.